For over 10 years, the Flying Disc Store has stocked Australia's largest range of flying disc products. From disc golf discs and bags to ultimate frisbees, throw and catch discs and dog discs, the Flying Disc Store has everything you need. As part of our support of the Tee-Off, the Flying Disc Store would like to provide Tee-Off listeners with 5% off any purchase in the store. Just use the code TEEOFF5 when checking out to get your discount. Visit www.flyingdiscstore.com.au today to grab a deal. And if you have any questions, be sure to contact their friendly staff. Looking for help with course design and installations? A new disc or other accessories for your game? Well, OzDiscs has a huge range of all disc. Today's podcast is brought to you in part by Fergs Disc Sports. Check out bergsdiscsports.com for the highest quality disc golf bags and gear that have all been fully tested and approved by our disc golf community. The only thing better than Fergs bags is Fergs customer service. And welcome back to the Tee-Off, an Australian podcast about the awesome sport of disc golf. This is episode 43, and I am Paddy Robinson. In the booth with me today, I've got Andrew Ferguson and Timmy Bowen. How are you, boys?
Sup, lads?
Yeah, good, thanks, Paddy. Fergie, how are you boys doing?
Good.
Good, man. We have an absolutely cracking episode, so we're going to get straight into it. First thing, I know Timmy's favourite, players meeting. So we've had 3 new join the Patreon. Shout out Nathan Thomas, Simon Tanner, Dan Frost. Thank you for the support, boys.
Ew.
Absolutely huge.
Legends.
If you would like to support us, please jump onto the link tree in our bio of our Instagram page and follow the links there to the Patreon page. We are going to be doing a big giveaway to our Patreon members this week, so jump in. Make sure you are eligible to get in on that. It's going to be pretty fun there.
Spoiler alert, there's a sexy bird in that batch. Spoiler alert.
Get the out of it.
It better be the one Nate Sexton Ham drew. I might even draw the Patreon. Now, also speaking of giveaways, Fergs Bags now has a discount code for the Tee-Off. So if you want 20% off a new Fergs bag, put in the code TEEOFF20 and you will get that. So big thanks to Fergs Bags there.
20%. Cha-ching.
Yeah, pretty good. And now, there is also one last giveaway. Timmy, you kind of mentioned last episode, but Heiser Flight and OzDisc are doing a massive giveaway, and they're using the Tee-Off for it as well. So
absolutely, lots of gear in there. Get the brolly, get the stubby holder, the hoodie, the full kit, Fergie. If you want to look fully Heiser Flighted, you can chuck all that stuff on. Just jump on Instagram, give us a like, give us a follow, and just tag 2 people, and you're in.
I think I like the black. I like the black this
season.
I
do like the black. Yeah.
I like the black. It looks hot.
It goes well with my soul.
It does wash you out a bit, Tim, but it still looks good.
Now, disc golf reflection. I know that is another favourite of Tim's, but look, I'm sort of sick of giving my 2 cents. So I've actually got some questions for you, Timmy.
For me, Paddy. You've come
yes.
to the master.
The master. Now, Tim, you are easily playing the most tournaments in Australia.
3 years running. I think I'm going up to 4 now.
You are the Emerson Keith of Australia.
Call me daddy.
Timmer daddy.
Now, I have seen there's actually been a bit of a call out for, to have like a single place to list all the disc golf events, but like literally people have just been going to Tim's PDGA profile to find what is happening and what's coming up next.
That's embedded in my Google Chrome search.
He showed me the other day. If he types in PDGA into his phone, it comes up PDGA Tim Bowen. Look, it's my PDGA page.
And if I type in RedTube, it straight away comes up RedTube Tim Bowen as well. It's It's ironic. I don't know.
So many people say that though. They go to my page to get the list of events because I play them all.
Isn't there something
Crazy.
wrong with that? Shouldn't
Mate,
there be like a
you
website for
you
this?
you need to put some ads on that, Tim. You need to sell that, my
Yeah,
man.
I'm going to capitalise.
That's so funny.
Oh, God.
But no, I had a couple of questions for you, Tim, because you are playing a lot, and I know some. Obviously we're quite close with friends, and there's some stuff that comes out over the last couple of weeks, and I just want to fire some at you on the pod. So first one, how often are you actually practicing?
Is this like an interrogation?
No,
Like-
not
like
at all. This is
li-
some disc golf questions and reflection.
How often am I practicing?
Yeah.
Literally never. And
Literally never.
I like to get out to the backyard for some putting.
Yep.
But I haven't been to Barn Valley in like a year. I think the last time I was there was the comp that was ran.
Yep.
And yeah, just casual rounds are few and far between. It's just, I like to say I've got no time. I think everybody says that. But between playing all the tournaments, I travel a lot for work and little thing called family.
Yeah.
The practice times are few and far between. So best I can do at the moment is get a practice round in before the tourneys.
Yep.
And make sure I'm putting in between in the backyard.
Let's be honest. I mean, all the tournaments you're playing, do you need to practice? I mean,
No, you definitely need to practice. I'd love to get out there and work on my form, but at this stage of the season, it's just like make it work with what you've got.
Well, and that's my next question to you. So you're constantly playing these tournaments and maybe not out there on the field doing practice as much. So what are the advantages, disadvantages of just sort of playing tournaments?
I'm definitely adaptable. I feel like my skill set, you can sort of, plonk me into any course and I'll play it reasonably well, which you can't say about everybody. Some people just shred their locals, and as soon as they travel, they're sort of a different disc golfer. I can kind of run around on any course. The disadvantages are I never really have that home ground advantage. Mm-hmm. I know, and that's probably something to say about, just comps not going ahead as frequently on Inverleigh and sort of our locals. My rating's getting smashed because I'm heading around to every other state playing against all the locals and not really getting that reciprocation playing on my home ground. Mm-hmm. Disadvantages, I can't think of anything else other than it's just very taxing on the body. It is. We make a joke of it. I play all the comps. It's not as easy as you think. I don't just sign up and make it happen. It's a lot of travel. I'm very, very tired and sick and sorry in between tourneys.
Yep.
So yeah, just making sure recovery's first and foremost. The first thing I do when I get back is just getting myself ready for the next one.
And I want to throw out a potential advantage to you as well, mental game and tournament strategy. I find that's not really something you can develop on the practice field and the course. Mm-hmm. Do you find that that's maybe a stronger part of your game only playing tournaments?
I think so. I've definitely got a very competitive mindset. Mm-hmm. I haven't unfortunately got over the tourney nerves, so I'm still finding I'm just as nervous, which is I'd like to think that I'm improving in that aspect, but still finding that I'm super nervy for particularly the starts of tourneys. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think definitely I've had more experience playing comps, so there are people that they might not have found themselves on a lead card or found themselves getting filmed before, or they might not have found themselves battling it out for a certain position. Mm-hmm. I've had all those experiences, so I certainly have learned from that in the past. Yeah,
not something you can really practice that either. You literally have to experience it.
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah. So, and my sort of last question here, because we'll keep this reasonably brief, but reflection, analysis, after tournaments and that sort of thing. If you're not going out and sort of practicing, or maybe if you were, would there be main things that you would be working on? Like you said, you get to practice your putting in the backyard and stuff, which is good. But yeah, are there do you kind of break them down at all? What's your reflection after tournaments?
Yeah, absolutely. Always reflect, always thinking about what I'm doing well, what I'm doing poorly, and what I can do better. Most of it does come back to putting for me. I think that's where I'm losing a lot of my strokes. Obviously, I think, backhand's probably another thing where I'm constantly, thinking about how do I get better in that respects. For example, I've got one new disc in the bag, which is a throwing putter, because I've been reflecting that I'm losing shots to particularly Dan Frost, shout out.
Okay, yes.
Because he can throw his putter so damn well. I'm like, I've got to learn how to do that. So I put a new disc in the bag on that respect.
What was the disc?
A Judge.
Judge?
Plastic
Yeah,
Judge.
cool.
But also reflecting around putting. So I've done, particularly in the last 2-3 months, I've done heaps of work on changing my putting stance and style, and also trying to come up with a routine. That's something that I'm lacking. I feel like my putt's great in the backyard and when I'm playing casual rounds, and particularly in that practice round, I'm like a 1050 rated putter. As soon as you get around to the actual tourney, all of a sudden I'm about 5% stiffer in the legs and I'm about 20% stiffer in my upper body. And I don't have a routine to fall back on. So that's what I've been working on.
Yeah. Cool. Nice.
Cool.
What the other question I had. Thank you for a bit of that.
Very
reflection.
cool. I look forward to the next instalment when we ask Fergie, who's playing the least amount of tournaments
Yeah.
in Australia.
Have you
That's
been
some great
looking
advice.
at episode 44's notes already? How organised are you boys? I love it.
We just called to have a chin wag. We just called to have a chat with friends. We just called to talk some disco and to catch up on the latest disco trends.
All right, and on the phone, Ken Summers, who is the tournament director of the upcoming WA Open. Ken, thanks for jumping on the tee off.
Oh, thanks for having me. A pleasure it will be, I'm sure.
Awesome, mate. Well, yeah, we're pretty keen to hear a little bit more about the upcoming WA Open. Now, first off, the name has changed. It used to be the Perth Open. You guys have now changed it to the WA Open. Is that just to conform to the other states?
A little bit, yeah. So it's taking a view of WA has multiple clubs now, and that we're representing it as a state level. So it doesn't mean in the future it may not be the Perth Open if Perth Club runs it as such. But for the moment, WA Open, because we're trying to align with everything else.
Yeah.
I think that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, sounds
pretty straightforward.
Sounds good. I like it. Now, you're playing out at Mundaring.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I have been talking to JB a little bit, and I know Mundaring has, the Aussie Open Course, but then there's a white course and a blue course, and now there might be potentially a back 18 and a 27 and all this sort of stuff. So what?
We're not back onto the colours again, are we, buddy? I still haven't got over the colours from last week.
You should see the fluoro pink. It's shit hot.
Well, we can arrange that.
So
we can arrange that.
What is going to be the course for the WA Open?
So for the course of the WA Open, we're playing the front 18 because the back 18 is a Hope and Dream and partially fronted, so that's going forward. But the front course we're playing for division aligned with the ADG, divisions between Division 1, Division 2. The first division MPO, etc., will be playing gold. Bit of a gold rush there. 2015, 2017 OB layouts, curated with by Jacob Davies, actually one of our 1,000 rated tournament directors.
Cool.
And pretty close to that as a player, I think now. Well, getting there. So yeah, that's going to be an absolute beast. And for the Division 2, we're looking at blue, gold, blue. So what we've done is we don't want to save the spare of gold just for the upper division. We really want to inflict that on the Division 2 as well. So they'll be playing the advanced course, which is quite technical. Then playing the gold, then playing the advanced course again. So blue is trees, lots of trees.
Yeah, cool.
I
like it. Timmy, have you played Mundaring?
I certainly have.
Yeah.
It's been a while. Every time I think about it, I think of that first hole, that big crush down the hill.
I was going to say, have you played it with like the hardcore OB that Kenny's talking about?
No, but I've watched it. I watched the Aussie Open 2015, Aussie Open 27. And I'm looking forward to getting some penalty strokes, Ken.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Now,
it's an interesting beast, mate. You play left and right. The design of the course is teaching people it's not just about crush, it's about landing, it's about where you want to finish, where do you want to attack. And I think that's where we start looking at the MPO versus MA1. We have a lot of emergent players that think because they can throw 300 metres, they're MPO. And then suddenly you put them on a course where they actually have to play well. That's where you'll see the real difference come out. So, sorry. Yeah.
that sounds good, Ken.
Yeah.
How's the course looking? Is it nice and green this time of year?
You know what? You've probably ever played Mundaring in the peak of summer when it looks like Mordor. Just desolate wasteland, a bit of green and brown, massive skip play. Right now, it is green as. It is gorgeous.
Lush.
It's mowed, it's trimmed, lush. I mean, it's not the same place. It's the land of plenty at the moment.
Awesome, Ken. I'm absolutely stoked to be coming over for it. Now, I'm having a look at the list at the moment, 102 players. We've got 20 in MPO and 3 in FPO and 10 in MP40, which is awesome numbers. And if I have a look in the MPO a bit more closely, there is plenty of Aussies, of course. There's a bloke from Norway, a bloke from Estonia, and a bloke from the UK. So this is quite a international event, this one at Mundaring for the WA Open. Have you got any tips?
Any tips? Oh,
You're going to go with Blake or Alex? Choose one of those two.
No, he just said it. You, it doesn't matter if you crush 300 metres. You got to place it.
Well, the hard part is Blake and Alex, this is their course. You know, in hole one, you're teeing off and they're hitting the green or the trees behind. They know that course. They're looking at straight off about an eagle. These guys, when they get it right, otherwise they're looking at consistent birds.
I'm looking at OB left.
You know, I'm gonna be contentious. I'm gonna call out Blake for this one. There's going to be a battle for the top 5, an absolute battle. I'd hope to see a Paddy up there, of course. Mr. Bowen, I don't know if you got the chops this time.
Come on, Paddy. It's still time, mate.
I was going to say, are you going to pay for my flights, Kenny? Because I'll be happy to come over.
Well, and that's the thing. I've been looking at the scorecard, the list, and I'm not seeing you there, and yet you've got a chance on this course. Some dark horses, Connor Donnelly is a dark horse. He's thrown exceptionally well at the moment. I can't speak to the Eastern State players. Guy from Norway, maybe. But
what about
I would say anyone who has a home course? Yeah. What
about a quick FPO and a quick MP40 tip?
Oh, look, MP40. Oh, that's contentious. If I was playing, it was me.
Did you say Rob Cinquini?
No.
Oh, come on.
Chris Finn?
Do you know Carl Bellasini? I will go with Carl with a sneaky slip-in by Mick Cansey. But Carl Bellasini is Bougainvillea. You're going along, think everything's great and lush, and suddenly he just drops those triples in and lunges past you, and you think, what the hell just happened? He's playing well. And when he's on, he's really on. And it is his course.
And FPO?
In fact, FPO, this is contentious. I'm going to go on the outside and say, you put me on the line here. Who's that Cassie lady? Yes, Cassie. Yeah. I'm going to give Cassie the edge on this one over Sarah. Cassie over Sarah.
Yeah,
just
because
the distance. Cassie's got knowledge and she's got the distance. Yeah, absolutely. And she's got knowledge. Yeah, I think it's going to be brilliant.
Yeah. Jeez, I might have to go home and look at flights again.
Just make it happen, Paddy. It's not hard, mate.
Yeah, mate, make it happen.
Make it happen.
This is the world's course, This is where next year we've got Aussie Open and World Teams. I mean, you need to be over here.
Yeah, mate. I did hear about a sneaky Aussie Open as well as the Worlds. That's going to be pretty exciting. Is it? It is going to be this course, same course.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's going to be this course and the back course. So between now and mid next year, we'll actually have the back 18. Jeez. Fingers crossed, there's funding, design and whatnot, and we've got environmental approvals, a few hoops. Chris Finn and Rad are really jumping through the hoops on that. We've had Fergie behind the scenes as well, so we've got the right people looking at this course, and we're ending up with something that's going to be sublime.
So, and the right club, mate. The right club. Mundaring, strong membership there.
I was going to say, what's the real estate like in Mundaring? Because that sounds pretty shit hot. I might have to check out some real estate.
Well, it's pretty good. Susie and I are looking at stuff at the moment. It's about $450 to $650 for up near the course. Carl Bellasini just bought a house at hole 10. That's
$450.
how much he believes in the course.
That's
He bought-
Tim. That's
he bought-
play.
he
That's
bought
play money for you, mate.
Paddy, you can't even afford your flights, mate. Why are you looking at real estate?
I said play money for you. Unreal, Cam. Well, thanks. I really appreciate those tips. I'm keen to hear what some of these boys think later about who's going to get on. But 20 in MPO, that's a solid open field altogether, and 102 for the event. That's absolutely unreal. Ken, thank you for coming on and telling us a little bit about that. We will definitely have to get you back in the future because I want to hear more about the World Team Championships when more things come on. I think we might have to even do a couple of episodes and touch base because that's going to sound epic. And obviously speculate at what that Aussie team is going to look like because I know there's some more contention.
I was going to say, that's going to be hot, Paddy. To qualify for the Aussie team, you're going to have to work for it this time.
Yeah, 100%.
And a cheeky little nod, Mr. Macbeth has expressed an interest, etc., on being on the US team.
Oh, bring it on, mate, because we're seeing this latest announcement with a kid on the way. A tired, sleep-deprived Macbeth, bring it on, mate. Welcome to our world.
That's it.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. All right, Ken, thank you again for coming on and having a bit of a chat about the WA Open. Really looking forward to seeing the results. And, good luck with the event.
Thanks, everyone. And look, you just have a lot of fun. I'll just say, just before I go, RPM discs, absolutely brilliant supporters, and Disconnection and Disc Golf Warehouse. Mate, we couldn't do it without these guys, seriously. So thanks very much for having me.
Unreal. Well, great people. All right, Ken, good on you, mate.
All right. Thanks, Matties. Thanks, guys. Take care.
See ya.
Oh, pretty cool. I'm definitely keen to hear more about the World Team Champs. That's going to be really exciting. And little sneaky one there that he mentioned, Aussie Open.
Ooh,
Aussie Open.
Cat's out of the bag.
Cat's out of the bag. Was that
a bit of a soft launch back into it? A bit of a soft launch, not necessarily a PDGA major as it has been in the past, but just a bit of a soft launch for the old Aussie Open to come back. So good incentive to go there maybe the week before the World Teams and get cracking in the Aussie Open.
Ooh, I like that.
I just booked flights while we were talking. I'm not getting. I know I won't get a look in on the team's event, but I'm happy to watch. I'll be a first class caddy.
I don't know, mate.
I don't know about that, mate.
I
don't know about that.
We'll see. You got to do well at this event. I'm sure that'll go a long way.
I'm looking at the list. I'm actually pretty keen on the battle for second place at.
Battle for second
Mundaring.
place. So
third place because I'm putting Blake and Alex in the Untouchables 1 and 2, but the battle of third wide open. I mean. We didn't even mention.
There was no Canberrans mentioned there.
Yeah, I got to say we didn't even mention Aussie D.
I would, mate.
I'm killing it.
Aussie D and
Jade.
Yeah, and Jade. Yeah, they're going to be tough. Like they've got the distance for sure, but do they? Yeah. Anyone need you got to have control on that course too.
Oh man,
I
hope they find some OB like you wouldn't believe.
I'm actually maybe it was a bad thing getting Ken on because I'm kind of thinking I need to look at flights now.
Ready, mate. Just get on it.
Close the Jetstar tab now.
All right, moving on. I think we've got a recap up next.
What's news around the world, around Australia? What's news? What's happened and who's spoken?
Now, strap in, boys. We've got 30 minutes here. We're talking about my ace. Now, it was hole 12. It was the second round. Melbourne celebrate 103 metres. 40K wins. Some say 70K wins.
All right.
A little bit uphill. Champ T-Bird straight at it.
So we had a bet going behind the scenes. Fergie and I have been actually messaging during the day because, Nath sent in. He said under or over on Tim mentioning his ace. And he said his bet was 3 minutes. Yeah. I said under, but, it is kind of hard because we've got about 6 minutes of intro.
If he's talking about the What's News segment, then clearly that was 3 seconds.
Look, if you've been living under a rock, yes, I hit an ace. Yes, it's had 1,200 or something views on Instagram. Yes, 1,150 of them are me reviewing it all day, every day. Every time I go to the toilet, I'm like, oh, why not? We'll boot it up.
Do you know what I rewatch on it? It's just your face when you turn around. I really enjoy that. Oh!
But it's followed by the realization is that I'm not going to chase that down. I'm not going after
I'm not
that.
running that in. But also, like, people have pointed this. I think it was Matt Hill pointed it out. I went for the high five, and I went to the cameraman who couldn't high five because he was holding the camera. So then what I do is I give myself a clap, like a self high five.
Oh, no, I'm definitely rewatch it.
I was like, that is so embarrassing, you absolute wanker. And then do you know who did the same thing? Calvin Heinberg got an ace. And he went the self clap.
He did the self clap.
So it's the move of champions. If you're not getting around it, give yourself a self clap next time you do something good on the disc golf course. Everyone's doing it.
There's a good disc golf reflection actually. I like that. There's the self clap.
The self clap. Watch it. Watch Vinny's ace. Did exactly the same thing. So I'm not the
Timmy,
only idiot out there.
1, shout out. It was an awesome ace. 2, I love that it was the backhand. And 3, insane. In that wind.
Yes.
Thanks, Paddy.
Insane.
And 4, I wasn't in the ace pool. So that's, if you want to get an ace, don't join the ace pool.
Oh, and 5, was it a rad basket? What basket was it?
Oh, it might have been a rad basket. Yeah,
I think it was.
Jeez, they catch well.
In fact, I do. I think it was. Thank you. I believe even shout out to Tosh as well, which you might have got.
It's in the notes. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Yeah,
I think
all
on the
right,
right
all
ace.
right.
No, I've got to give Tosh a shout out. We may as well do it now. She also aced and was in the ace pot, so she got the cash. Her ace was only 50 metres, so like whatever. But it was very wooded.
So we had
Very wooded.
Tim mentioning anyone else's ace time. At least 15 minutes. Yeah, 15 minutes. Yeah, no worries.
That was sick by Tosh. Very
Unreal
good.
Tosh.
Good hole at ace. I took a bogey on that hole, so
Yeah.
put that into perspective. Now, recap. There have been a couple of nice comps in Victoria, of all places. Melbourne celebrates at Llewellyn Park. I got the chocolates there, probably thanks to that ace. Over Ryan Michelle, he did well to come in second place in MPO.
That is second MPO 20?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he played very well. We were tired after the first round, so definitely doing some good stuff there.
Nice.
He got properly shafted. There were 8 players in MPO. 2 cards of 4, you might think. No, 1 card of 4, 1 card of 3, and Ryan was on some other rando card.
What?
Please, public service announcement. Public service announcement. Stop mixing the cards in tournaments, please.
Just because he's a physio, I mean, you don't have to bloody shaft him like that.
Oh, I was
You
going
can't
to say
make this
because he's a left-hander, but yeah.
You can't make this up. There were 8 players.
Yeah,
2
right.
cards of 4.
Yeah.
No.
Straightforward.
Ryan Michelle on his own card, somewhere else. Teeing off at some other time.
Oh, well, it seemed to work for him.
Please. Anyway, Sarah Lee got the win in FPO over Cassie Sweeten.
Yeah, right, nice.
She won by 1 shot, and there was actually a 2-shot swing on hole 17 of the second round, so that would have been fairly
that's
nervy.
Those tight.
Am I correct in understanding that Sarah did take a 13 in that final round?
She took a 13 on the par 5.
And still got the win.
And still got the win.
Goodness
So
gracious,
that 13 put
What?
her...
Yep.
She was winning, took a 13, then was not winning, and then decided to really turn it on after that and got the win. So well done to Sarah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. I did not know that. That's
That whole-
ridiculous. Sarah, what the hell?
She took a 9 in the first round too, so that she gave up, I can't do the maths on that, 22 over 2 attempts of that hole.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. That's 12 over.
Wow.
2 rounds.
Okay. Right.
MP40, Ruben Berg, very good win. And FP40, Tosh Freakman.
Yes.
Nice.
FP40. Oh.
FP40,
Yeah.
people moving around.
Yep.
There you go.
Marcus Fillotta took out MA1 and Emma Winkworth took out FA1.
Nice.
Boys, have you
That's right.
seen the parked coverage of this event? Like the wind, like this was the biggest wind that I've ever played in. It was nuts, that wind. I was laying up C1s. I saw Ryan Hart get 2 spit outs from a meter.
Ooh.
Like
As in you're talking the gust kicking it back kind of thing.
literally the gust kicking it back. Like you got to lean over and dunk that bad boy with like a Taipan, specifically a Taipan. He just decided to do his normal putt from 1 meters and the basket just said, nah.
Wow.
Goodness
crazy.
gracious.
Man, I'm so disappointed I didn't play it. Yeah.
Now, we mentioned Sarah Leeds who got a 13 on the par 5. This is a 190-metre par 5 with basically
a lot of OB.
lot of OB.
Sure. Yeah.
And risk reward, like I was literally dropping in an eagle in the first round. Nathan Parrish, that first round, he got 7 birdies, which was, equal top
Nice.
hot round. He's also got a 13 on that round.
yeah.
He had no other bogeys.
Yeah,
so he
right.
had a beautiful scorecard with 7 birdies and a 13 just to ruin it. So Nathan Parrish, you're getting your own shout out.
That-
I think I saw Lee Thompson. Didn't he get an eagle as well? I think
Not
he did.
sure.
I think he did.
But
He just won it. He won
how
that.
far is that on the ooft meter?
I was going to say, like, you know, we think of these roller coaster rounds, just a gentle up and down. That is just like all up and then into the ground
That is masochistic.
like
That
a
is.
dart.
Oof.
Oh, that
Awesome
hurts.
comp though. That Llewellyn Park layout was pretty fun. It's the wind was rough, and it was particularly rough for the MPO time slots. The MPO, FPO, and MA1ers, they really copped it.
They copped
Later in the day, it just got windier and windier. Laying up C1s, it hurt.
Looking for help with course design and installations, a new disc or other accessories for your game? Well, OzDiscs has a huge range of all disc golf equipment in stock. 5% of each sale goes back to support your local club through their rewards program. Also, did we mention they have next day shipping? Well, jump online and check out OzDiscs now at www.ozdiscs.com.au.
Next comp, Big Wet at Vic Park in Ballarat. Darren Stay-Smith won in a one-hole playoff over myself.
Yeah, right.
Goodness gracious.
That hurt as well.
What happened? Well, which hole were you playing off?
Hole one. at
Oh,
Ballarat.
your favourite hole.
The hole one.
Do you know what I said at the start of the
That's a
second
shit
round?
playoff hole.
I said this might be my least favourite hole in all of Australia.
Yeah.
Because if there's a hole that you've made specifically to hurt Timbo and Fergie, you've done well.
It's not a bad design. It's
There's
just
no-
got you. It's just got
No forehand line.
Not a good playoff hole.
No forehand line. No chance of
Go
getting
to 18.
Go to
yeah, that
18.
would've been
Well, I think the circuit was 1, 17, then 18. I was like, I just got to get past one. I just got to get through one.
Yeah.
Daz parked it. I put it to circle 2, ran it, missed it, and that was all she
okay.
wrote.
Bugger.
But Daz, he also got an ace.
awesome.
He aced hole 7 and cashed $500.
Yeah.
It was sick.
Did you pay for
That's
Ace Pot this time around?
It was included for everyone.
Okay,
So,
nice.
yeah.
$500.
Yep.
Sweet as Daz. 2, who the hell aces with a skip putter? Skip
I
ace
know.
putter.
Like, when he threw it,
Darren does.
Darren Stay-Smith does.
you can hear me yell, get in. I saw it, and when I yelled get in, I'm like, oh, it's not going to get in. It's not going to skip high enough as a putter.
Yeah.
And straight in. It was sick.
It's nuts.
And the
Those
story
pine-
behind this
pine
putter,
needles.
it was a link, a premium plastic link from Discmania with the Cloudbreaker stamp.
Right, cool.
Yeah, it was the second ever throw Daz had done with that disc.
Far out.
He got it off a mate. A mate bought it thinking it was a Cloudbreaker, and then realised it was a putter, not a 12-speed. And Daz said,
And gave it away. That shit's rare.
yeah.
Hold
and-
on to that.
Yeah, and now that bloke's going to be ruining the $500 that he could have had if he had given it a time of day. But anyway,
I think we've mentioned this before, but if that was you, would the putter stay in your bag or would it go on the wall?
Stay in the bag.
Stay in the
Come out.
bag.
Stay in the bag?
yeah, you can't be
Alright.
shelving stuff
enough.
just because you're ace.
Well,
it's just getting good.
I'm going to write that down for a trash or cash coming. Yeah.
Shelving
Anyway,
ace disc.
Shelving
yeah.
ace.
Yeah.
Hey, shelving, a bit weird. Depends what kind of shelving. If it's a Berg. No, moving on.
How awesome is that's 2 aces from parked in 2 comps.
Yeah.
Like they've got the ace magic.
Yeah.
All you have to do is
Get
get
them
on the
to-
parked coverage, and then you're going to get an ace.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Get into your comp now.
What's Kyle's reaction? I'd like to see Kyle's reaction, actually.
I saw Kyle running in with the camera behind Daz.
That was very awesome.
That was pretty
Yeah.
funny.
If you look back, I'm not running in. Watching them running in. I'm like, good on you boys.
Kyle had a massive smile on his face.
Yeah.
Was it in slow-mo? I don't know. Anyway, it looked awesome.
It was
Sounds
sick.
good.
So good.
That's the shit that you want to see. That's awesome.
A good weekend for Daz. He told me the week before at Melbourne Celebrates, he's like, I probably won't play this one because, I've just come back from Canada, played Canadian Nationals, then he played Melbourne Celebrates. He's like, 3 comps might be a bit much in 3 weeks. Lucky he did because he cashed $500 for the ace pot and the win. So
Yeah, right.
thank
Solid.
you very much.
I had to laugh about the Big Wet. I thought it was just a Ballarat League day. And I was like, oh, cool. Oh, I'm keen to go up. And then, people were like, oh, yeah, the Budgie was talking about being on feature card. I'm like, well, I don't got feature cards for a league day. That's stupid. And then, it turns out Big Wet.
You've been a bit busy in your kitchen.
I have been a bit
I think.
busy, but I'm not also on Facebook that much. I don't know where this shit is posted, honestly.
It's called the Australian Disc Golf website sanctioned events.
Again,
We're all
no,
on there,
seriously,
babe.
it's on my, Tim's PDGA. It's coming up. It's putting on my favourites. That's the first thing that's going to open. Fuck Google. I'm going straight to
Get
Tim.
yourself organised, mate. Moving on. MP40, Chris Hart had a win over Tosh Frequent. MA1, Nathan Parrish turned it around. He got the win in this one. And
Nice.
FA1,
Nice.
Georgia Carroll. I looked at Nath's scorecard in depth because there is a par 5 at Ballarat. He took a 4.
Okay.
So he learned his
Nice.
lesson.
Nice.
Much better. No OB on this one, though. Now, did you see the trophies for the Big Wet?
Yes, I did.
It was a freaking horn, man.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
sick. They got a sponsor. I really should have got the name of the sponsor, but it was a distillery.
Yes.
And
Blue something?
I'll get it.
I don't know.
I'll get it.
it was like Big Horn or something. I don't know. The horn was part of the motif there. But horn trophies and mead as the prize.
Mead.
I had to look up mead because I'd only known it
Yeah.
from like Lord of the Rings and sort of stuff. I just thought it was beer. It is fermented, an alcoholic beverage made by fermenting honey and water. As soon as I heard that, I was like, I wish I won. I wish I won. That sounds awesome.
3 horn.
3 horn.
And I'm looking at here, there's another drink called Viking's Blood,
Yep.
which is dry mead.
Mate, the trophies were sick.
And barrel-aged traditional semi-sweet mead.
Mate,
Right.
awesome stuff. Reese Circuit, the TD, did a tremendous job, as he always does. Massive shout-out to Reese for short, sharp players meeting and short, sharp presentations. That's
Nice.
just
Solid
the
race.
way to do it.
On ya.
Now, next up in Australia, we have the Carnaby Crush in WA, as well as the WA Open that we heard from Ken Summers about. We have the Central Vic comp up in Bendigo, which I'm shattered is on exactly the same time as WA because I can't play it. But that'll be fun. And the Bayside Cup in Queensland. So plenty going on in the next fortnight.
Sweet.
Stacked.
Now, the recap's going on way too long, but we've got more. We have the Frisbee Golfing, the Finnish Nats. And I'm not making that name up. It's called Frisbee Golfing.
I love it.
How good is that?
So simple. So simple. Marketing-wise, goodness me.
Frisbee Gulfen.
Nicholas Antela, he had the win. And in FPO, Heidi Liner had a win over Evelina Salonen in a playoff.
Yeah, right.
I haven't got the full deets on that, but I'm looking forward to going back and watching that because, she did very well at the European Open, Heidi Liner, and got the win over Evelina. And I think you said, Paddy, it's the first time Henna Bloomross hasn't won Finnish Nats.
Yeah, I think so. I believe so. I saw that little Instagram post.
There you go.
I believe Evelina actually shanked her 1 metre putt.
Oh, you're kidding.
No,
She's never done that. She's never done that. How out of character.
No, not Evelina.
I hope not. I hope not. Actually, just playoffs. I totally forgot. The Big Wet. There was also a playoff in FA2. Anita Weber got the win over Kim Michelle.
Nice. Anita.
Do you know how this works? So hole 1 push.
She beat her on the
Hole
thing.
17
She scored
push. Hole 18 push. Back to hole 1. They're both putting for par from like 4 or 5 meters. Exactly the same spot. Literally next to each other.
Yeah.
Kim goes first. Dead center spit out. It was gross, Fergie.
Yeah, right.
And then Anita
Don't drop my
canned it.
name.
Fergie.
Yeah, Fergie.
They're ad baskets. This is
I-
your chance. I need you to make a public apology.
I may have had a radio-controlled chain link thing
Mate,
going on there.
she's flying Distor Aces sponsored. And you've just chained out her opponent. Where's the public
Finally,
apology?
all that planning, all that strategy.
It was
finally come in.
disgusting. Kim, if you're listening, you did amazingly well. Everything right. It was one where you put it in and she was reaching down, picking up her mini because it was so in, and then it was out.
They are rough, those
It
ones.
was yuck.
So it's basically the equivalent of me throwing OB each time you and I have played off. Those weird, totally
Was
get
it on camera?
I'm not sure, but lots of people were watching. Four hole playoff, everyone was watching, so everybody saw it, Fergs, and we all instantly blamed you.
Hey, no one's talking about the fact that Rad Ace caught Daz's ace. So
Kim, Fergie will
Bit of
message.
balance.
He'll send you a personal apology. It'll be written. It's coming. Now, there was also one small comp in the States called Ledgestone on the famous Northwood Black and Eureka. Cole Redalin.
Yeah, huge.
He's a player.
He's a player.
How did he win? I understand he won by 5 shots.
1 by 5, mate.
I watched his highlights. The man was like a robot.
Yeah.
When did he get good?
Yeah, I don't know.
He survived
It's random.
Northwood. He survived Northwood.
He slayed
That's
Northwood.
what happened.
Crazy.
Because the round I did watch at Northwood, dudes were taking crazy numbers. There
He
was
was
like
shredding.
bogey, double bogey, triple bogey after each other. So yeah,
He went into that final round with, I think, 4-stroke lead.
Yeah.
I think it was.
He looks very controlled.
And I thought, oh, no, surely he's going to get done here. You know what I mean? Because Calvin was on his heels and what have you. But no, extended lead. One.
Yeah, Calvin was charging. And Calvin obviously got the ace. We also saw an ace from Andrew Marweed with the forehand, the 1 finger forehand.
yeah, right.
I didn't know he did that. 1 finger.
One finger
He throws forehand with one finger, just his index finger.
That's just trash. I'm writing it down. Next trash or cash?
Trash or cash, the one finger.
Yeah.
Made it's cash. He flicked it straight in. Anyway, I'm going to try it and then we'll answer that question. That was awesome by Cole Radalin. Very much an up-and-comer and someone to watch because he's definitely got the ceiling there. He does...
18, isn't he? 18.
He's so young. He doesn't really handle the bad breaks and the poor form that well. He can get very down in the dumps, but when it all goes to plan, very, very, very good player. So one to watch. Missy Gannon got the win over Owen Scoggins in FPO.
Oh, did you see that spit out from Owen?
No, I didn't.
It wasn't a bloody ace, all right? Fuck off.
It was heartbreaking. I can't remember which hole it is at Northwood, but she's basically down the hill. She's got to putt over this hill and in. Putting, circle 2, nails it in the heart, and it those ones where it takes half a second to fall out? Yeah. It comes back out, and she's there, turn around, and she's giving it a wave. She gets the thing, still doesn't know that it's actually fallen out, picks up a mini, starts to walk around, gets halfway up the hill, and then realizes, and she's like, oh my God.
Yeah, you're right. I did see this one actually. Oh. That's so dirty.
So dirty.
Yeah, very, very, very dirty when you get a spit out. When you don't see it and then you realise, hey, how's my disc on the ground? What the hell?
Yeah.
Hurtful.
Savage.
The only other one to mention, Lukey Bain. He shot a plus 19 and finished 112th place. So not Bainey's best tourney, but he was there and put in a solid work. I think he was a little sick actually. So yeah, you don't want to be tackling the hardest course in the world or Northwood Black, feeling not 100%. Honestly, that would
I was gonna say, what do you boys think of the courses? Do you kind of want to go to Northwood and just have it just chew you up and spit you out?
I just want to play hole 12, the 350 metre par 5
through there. Yeah.
I saw Ricky Wysocki. He birdied it. I think he might have birdied it twice, to be honest.
Yeah, right.
Freak.
Nice. He's the scramble man. So I can see that.
It's insane though. That hole looks so hard. I'd like to see what I'd get. I reckon I'd probably beat Nath Parrish's 13 though.
All of these courses that you're seeing, on the Disc Golf Pro Tour, they're hard. They're really, really hard. Yeah. In Australia, we don't really play courses that are that hard. Let's be honest.
We don't play courses. We don't leave it out of it.
It's
honestly, 90% of people that play tourneys in Australia have no idea. 50, 60 metre par 3s, forget about it. Honestly.
And that's when you see a Cole.
That's where you putt from.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you see Cole and these boys coming around, and girls, shooting 12 under par and things like that. Next level.
Yeah.
Next level.
Nuts.
Absolutely next level. Now, that's all the tourneys. There was a bloody heap of tourneys. The recap's gone for a million years.
I was going to say, we've got no time left.
We've got a couple of notables to talk about. So, this has been probably the most controversial subject ever. UDisc have put their price up. They've gone from, what are they, $20?
Yeah.
To now, $50. $50. That's more than a full disc. I might not be able to buy another Firebird this month.
Is this US? US?
No, this is Aussie bucks.
Oh, my God.
50 Aussie.
Yeah.
Mate, when I first started, I think it was $5. Then it went to 20. Now it's 50. I've got to take out another mortgage.
It didn't exist when I stared.
In all honesty.
We had fucking pen and paper.
We had paper and pens when I started.
People up in arms about this, though. Honestly.
Yeah.
Could you just either buy it or don't buy it?
Yeah.
The people that be like, nah, they're the most evil company ever. We've got to burn them. Maybe check yourselves.
Yeah.
They put out
100%.
You just could put out a fantastic product.
Yeah.
I've seen the way PDGA scores and the way Disc Golf Metrics scores. Garbage in comparison to how UDisc scores. I'm praying that UDisc just gets bought by PDGA and that becomes the scoring system.
Yeah.
Plus, you got the Grip 6, you got UDisc Live. Fantastic
Heaps
product.
of fun.
If you don't like it, jog on.
Yeah. Support them. Far out.
100%. Just how about you don't have that 6-pack or that beer for one night, mate?
One premium disc.
A membership.
One premium disc.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I get it. It's whatever. Don't want to buy it up in arms, but it's attacking the company over it. Just fair income.
I have actually looked in what is coming, what is coming for UDisc, and the exciting thing is events. So I think they're actually going to start doing event registration, that type of thing through UDisc, which is really exciting. They'd have leagues and that sort of stuff. You can list the events. They have that. Shout out Australia. Maybe put it on. Yeah, let's all go to. It's free to do it. So maybe let's put all your events on UDisc. But yeah. That's in the works. So I'm pretty excited about that.
I am aware that I'm about to come across like a massive UDisc sponsor here, but honestly,
hey, good people, if they want to support the show, like put it out there, Tim. Like,
honestly, people comparing it to metrics and all other crap. Like UDisc tells you where all the courses are. You can literally I know the courses aren't GPS set up properly in Australia, but when you're in the States, you can literally pull out your phone. It tells you how far away you are from the pin. Stuff like that. Track all your shots, measure your throws. Amazing.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Like, I just can't believe that people are up in their arms about it. So you had to give them a little shout out for UDisc. I'm certainly signing back up.
Yeah, 100%.
Now, there were also the PDGA put out the proposed rule changes for 2024, and there were actually a couple of interesting ones. They still haven't fixed the stupid Mando rule, so that's still what it is.
Yeah.
I thought this one was interesting. Moving obstacles behind the lie. So at the moment, you're allowed to remove like sticks and things that are in your way if it's in reach of a planting foot.
Yeah.
So within your stance, basically. Which kind of
if it's like dead and not attached.
Dead and not
That's
attached.
it.
Yeah,
If you can sort of put one disc behind your mini and sort of move your other leg, one leg behind your mini and then move your other leg, in any direction and touch a stick, get rid of it. Which favours sort of Anthony Barellas over your Emerson Keats, just purely based on height.
On width.
Yep. Now they're changing that, so now you're allowed to move any casual obstacles that aren't attached and aren't living behind your lie, which will allow you to move, big sticks and give yourself a proper run up, which is great. Nothing worse than
I didn't know that wasn't a thing. If it's dead and unattached, I'm flicking that thing's gone, man.
So if it was 2-3 meters behind where your disc was, you weren't allowed to move it.
Really?
So you had to sort of run around that stick or whatever it was.
Really? There's a few people out there going, oh.
Yeah, that's it.
Shit.
Yeah. I'm just thinking of all that.
Well, that just goes to prove the point, doesn't it? If they're changing the rule to be that, probably everyone else thought it was like that anyway.
Yeah.
So just
Dead
do it.
and not attached.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I knew it was a rule. I
Okay.
certainly was aware of it. And
There's one.
it's just one of those things. I know.
Strip the titles from me. I fucking
That's it. Illegitimate 3-time. Here's another big rule, though. All players have to score,
Yeah, okay.
which I'm bloody thankful for.
I dig
hate
that.
I hate that 2 minutes before a tourney starts where you're like, does anyone want to score?
By the way,
Oh, my phone's not I'm out of battery.
oh, there's no reception here. I've only got 20%. We totally need to do a joking thing on that.
Mate, the people that rock up, I didn't charge my phone last night, don't have reception. They whip out like a Nokia 3315 from 40 years ago.
I was going to say, what if you got a dumb phone?
Well, then you just have to be disqualified, Fergie. You're just going to have to suck it up. No, you can
I'm
score.
going to snap shut my Ericsson's
I was gonna-
T72 and fuck off.
What's Terry Bowen going to do?
That's it. Can't see the phone. No, you can score whatever way you want, but all players have to score. Great.
Dig
for
it.
that.
Good rule.
Get on it.
Good rule.
PDGA membership is required for C tiers. So it used to be required for A's and B's. Now it's required for C's. That'll have impact in Australia because all of our comps are C tiers. So none of those black names on the PDGA page. You're going to be joining the blue club because you're going to be PDGA certified, or you can jog on.
That's definitely going to be more money coming in. Nice.
These are only little minor ones. Sudden death playoffs are now mandatory. So I think previously, sometimes if there was a tie, it was just dealt with, who got the best score for the last round or who had the lowest PDGA number. Done with all that. Have to be a playoff. Makes sense. It is now a courtesy violation if after the 2 minutes warning has been called, your phone rings or makes a distracting flashing light or noise.
Oh, yeah, right.
So check yourself before you wreck yourselves. Get those silent
Silent
buttons toggled before the 2 minute thing. I'm stroking you.
Does
Mate,
anyone else find that just so funny though? Like
Paddy.
I love when someone's about to Actually, my ringtone is chains, so I feel like I'm going to get away with it because there's chains that
Mate.
go off on the course.
Mate, next time we're playing together, that 2 minute horn's going, I'm going to call you.
Yeah,
You're going to...
fucking prove it, mate.
I'm calling you. I'm calling you. In fact, I'm going to call the 3 people on my card. I might be able to get a couple of strokes before we start. Tactical. That's it. That's done. That's
like
me.
it. Very
I
good.
wrote a 15-page essay for that recap. And we're
Done
all
well,
ready to
mate. During a work meeting too, I'm impressed, Tim.
roll. Thanks.
I'm really impressed. Alrighty, guys. Next up, we had some questions sent in. So thank you to all those who sent them in. I've already mentioned Nathan. He was first off the mark, and he wanted to know how quick Tim would mention his ace. So thank you, Nath.
Good question, Nath.
That was a fun little one behind the scenes.
I waited ages. I waited till like the midway point because I forgot about it.
Apparently, Tim's getting a tattoo of his face.
The self clap.
Yep, the self clap. Just that's it.
Oh, that'd be a good tattoo. The self clap.
The self clap. That's solid. LA Disc Golf was sent in. How did you guys get hooked on disc golf? And I left this. We've talked about how we got into disc golf, but how did we get hooked on disc golf? And Fergie, I'll lead it off. Fergie, you gave me free discs, and that got me hooked on disc golf.
There you go.
There you go.
I'm still giving them away.
Yeah.
Quickly, my one, I think it was not just like finding it and playing it, but I when I jumped online and bought discs from Discs Unlimited? No. What were they called? Disc Golf Shop.
Disc Golf
Disc
Shop.
Golf Shoppy with two Ps. And bought a box of like whatever, it was only like 10 discs from the US. Had them shipped over, opened up the box. That was it.
That was it.
Like, absolutely cooked.
He's in.
Like that was, just that smell. Yep.
The smell.
Honestly,
The smell of plastic.
I can't even really remember. I'm pretty sure I just went from like 0 to 100 in the first time I played it.
Yeah.
It's just fun throwing stuff. I just like throwing stuff.
Watching the flight is super satisfying.
If you're one of those people that just like, if they've got a piece of rubbish and they've got to walk it over to the bin, but they'd prefer just to throw it in the bin, like that's me.
I love it.
I just straight up love throwing stuff into other stuff. So I got hooked when I realised that was what the sport was.
Oh, fantastic. There you go, mate. Good question.
Yeah, great question.
Blake Houston, will Tim take down the WA Open?
No, move on.
Define take down. Like, is he gonna rock up with a gun and just have a way with the MPO field?
Oh, jeez.
Well, I think by take down he means finish 8th. If he means finish 8th, then absolutely.
Oh, man. That's very funny. Now, Ellie, this is the first time she's ever sent a question in, and if you don't know who Ellie is, you may know after we go through this. She says, I don't have a question, I just wanted to say that my fiancé, Dylan Feldman, is still pretty good. Ellie, I think you just sent this in so you could say fiancé, because they only got engaged 2 weeks ago, so well done.
Congratulations.
Can I ask a question? Who is Dylan Feldman? Who is that dude?
That Australian champion, Dylan Feldman.
Oh, that guy.
Yes.
He was playing disc golf, 20 years ago?
Mate, I'm getting called old because I've got a bad back and I've got all these injuries.
That's it.
Dylan, you are 10 years younger than me, mate, and you've got bad backs. So.
Rumour has it he did his back lugging around that engagement ring. See the size of that thing?
I'm gonna get my wife to message in next and just say,
no.
Andrew's pretty good still. Thanks, babe.
If Kat realises you can send in questions, I don't even want to know what's going to come.
She's getting a text from me.
Yeah, we're going to have to hit her up. Tim sent in, how good are the Matildas? What are they?
I sent that in. Who's Tim?
No, Tim, the real Tim. Tim Dubs. T-Dubs.
Tim Dubs. T-Dubs.
They are good.
Yeah, no, they're killing it. It's awesome. Paddy Ferris, do you think that placebacks are really just a disc golf participation award?
Now I do. That's funny as.
Oh, so good.
Thanks for coming. Here's a texter.
Oh,
and a $1 drink bottle.
Do you want some lollies?
I think that's a yes.
Resounding yes.
Now, I'm going to preempt this last question with an apology. And I have added it to Trash or Cash because Rob has said, Trash or Cash, when I send in a question to the tee-off and they don't answer it for 2 episodes.
Oh, Paddy, come on, you're our secretary. What are you doing?
He got down on himself. He's like, maybe my question was trash. And Rob, your question ain't trash. I'm just trash at checking the messages. So, Rob's question, which is really cool. He's recently returned to his old sport of basketball, and he found he still got it. Last time he played ball golf, he shot better than he used to. So he's found that basketball affects the way he putts, where he feels more confident, lofting, push putting, turbo putting. Golf experience helps with his mental game. So he wants to know what sports or other sports did we used to play or still play, and how did it or does it affect our disc golf game? So I'll throw that out there too.
I still play a stack of basketball. I've cut way back because literally it is detrimental to my disc golf game. Like it's just, I was playing 3 nights a week as early as 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, and by the weekend I could barely walk.
Yeah.
Waking up on Thursdays and Fridays after sport had finished, and the first hour is just struggling to get the legs going. So gave up. I'm playing 1 night a week, and still I'm sore from that. So I can see the benefits of it's helpful to throw a basketball around and keeps you fit and whatnot. But I think, I'm getting older, so I'm starting to be sorer.
Yeah, okay.
I don't think it's helping my disc golf game. In fact, I know in 5 to 10 years' time, I'm going to be like, I wish I gave up basketball sooner to focus on disc golf.
Yeah, basketball is pretty demanding as well.
It is,
it's not a light sport to play.
One thing it did help with though is I have a locked-in routine for free throw putting. Free throw shots.
Yeah.
And I just realized, literally, it was like a light bulb moment, like 2-3 weeks ago. I'm like, I don't have that routine for putting. Why don't I have that routine? So now I'm starting to work on one.
Yeah, cool. I like that.
I'm similar to both Tim and Rob. But yeah, basketball was my main sport that I played. Bit of footy, bit of cricket. But basketball, definitely I can see some things that I've drawn in from playing it. It's been a long, long time since I played, but played for a bit of Geelong and a bit of Vic when I was younger.
Yeah, right.
Before my knees blew out. But anyway, but even just the other day, I was like having a putt in the backyard, and I was just struggling with just everything. And then I just went, you know what? That thing's just a basketball ring, and just pop it out. Make sure just like you do in basketball with lots of extension. Leave the hand up there, kind of thing. And yeah, just that visualization helped me kind of just hit a bit of a zone. So yeah.
Nice. I like it. I didn't play basketball. Actually, I'll lie. I played a bit of mixed basketball with some old roommates. I'm shit at it, so I don't really play basketball. I've dabbled in so many different sports, Rob. I've played soccer mainly for like 10 plus years, outdoor, indoor. Oh, man, I played pool. I played cricket, indoor cricket. I've played a bit of everything, mate. Does any of it impact my disc golf? Not really. I suppose I'm very competitive, so that side of things, but nothing that I really draw in and specifically have for my disc golf game. I never really threw frisbees before I played disc golf. I've just always been reasonably fit and good hand-eye. So yeah, I think that's definitely helped. But
I think that you touched on the competitive nature. I think definitely comes from sport at an early age. I played footy all the way through growing up, and just that never wanting to shy away from a fight or shy away from a challenge comes from footy.
Yeah,
I definitely got that in disc golf. That's why I'm playing MPO. I'm obviously not winning every week, but I'm fronting up.
Yeah. This question also sort of had me think about what some sports that really come across, and are super relatable, apart from the dead obvious ones of ultimate frisbee and maybe ball golf with a bit of that mental game. I thought your baseball, you've got a lot of baseballers coming over. And what was the other one?
Well, tennis is
tennis.
One. Yeah.
That was it. Yeah.
I look at Ryan Michelle, good tennis player, a lot of tennis in his throws. Sean Freeman. Yep. That whip of a forehand he's got I can see him swinging a tennis racket.
Yeah. Yeah. I know Cam Ford masturbates a lot, so he's got a good.
He's got the best follow through I've ever seen.
But yes, there you go, Rob. I said I'd put it in the next episode. I've put it in this episode. I'm sorry it took this long, but yeah, excellent question.
I literally haven't played ball golf since I found out about disc golf, so I wonder if I go back, I might be like Tiger Woods. You don't know. It's been that long.
Yeah, I'm sure that'll happen. Cool. Now, the last one, Fergie. Now, we had a bit of a response the last time when we talked about the winter ambush on the tee off, when Tim and I were done a bit of the recap. Andy Wiz sort of sent in. He really appreciated what we sort of said, and he said a couple of things that I was actually quite surprised. So, one, that was the first time Andy had ever designed a course. Two, he did most of the course design on paper, as he had limited access to the site. And he'd had a few goals set in mind. And some of the main things he sort of looked at was course flow, and he wanted birdies to be only achievable by the best played shots. And the last thing, he wanted to create options for right-handers, left-handers, forehand, backhand. So a numerous amount of options. He did say the one thing he wasn't really aware of and thinking of is that, about score separation, which we mentioned last time about between the lower divisions and us, that it was hard to birdie, easy to par. But he said, with all that sort of stuff in mind, he'd be keen to hear a little bit of our thoughts and some advice about when planning to design a course for an event, and that would suit MPO. And, compared to MA4s. So I thought that I'd just sort of put that out there as you are the professional course designer, and we've done a little bit ourselves and done some TDing, but thoughts?
Well, I mean, from the 17 camps that I've designed, which have about 50-metre average holes lately, I can't really speak to this. No, that's not true. No, that's not true. Look, I find it very interesting that he's designed a bit of this course on paper.
Yeah.
I guess
I've got the intel there.
Yep.
He's an orienteer. So very, very good map reading and that sort of thing. Yep.
Okay. Well,
that's got the scoop there.
Yeah. It's interesting.
He did a tremendous job without being not having access to the site and come up with that. Bravo.
I wonder if he had the full kind of elevation and things like that in the map as well. Because was there much elevation there?
Slight.
Few
sort
holes,
of twitch. Undulating.
Yeah.
Yes.
Look, I didn't play the course, so I don't know too much about that. But I know, when we had the conversation the other week, what you guys talked about, and it's very hard to design anything from paper, on paper, for sure, for obvious reasons, because some key trees and things like that just affect a hole so much and what have you. And I'm sure
Google Maps is probably from 10 years ago.
But exactly. Yeah. And I'm sure he had the flow going, like you said, and kind of made something kind of work. And when he got there to actually kind of knock out the exact locations, he probably then picks a few trees and what have you. But it's still very impressive that he's able to do that and design a course. So it's interesting, kind of quite a mathematical way to look at it. In terms of I wanted to have, certain kind of pars and left and rights and all that kind of stuff. And I don't know, it makes me actually think it'd be good to kind of break down what makes a good course, what's the ingredients, and you can't just say a variation of everything, but where in the course are some of the par threes, where are the par fives, do you have a stack in a row, do you have an easy patch, do you have, just what makes a good fun course to play, talking about Norfolk.
I reckon we should put that on the docket for another episode and just go through some of the things that we should have in a course.
Yeah.
There's a worthy discussion, I think.
It really is going to come down to how much time you have. Because some design jobs you're only there for a week. But I know when we went through the redesign for Inverleigh Gold, we had months.
Yeah. And sometimes that's a negative thing because you got too much time on your hands and what have you, versus I've got three days to knock out this design and I want to play and that's it, and I've got to mark it, measure it, do the whole thing. So it's very interesting. And the score separation thing, obviously that's something there's definitely a sweet spot where you're making a hole that's very difficult, but easily parable. So, you're not going to get, your MA4s and things like that will probably still get the par, but, it's going to take a cracking drive and a very good putt for the MPO to even get a bird. So, I'm sure there's a nicer sweet spot there where that score separation is going to be more evident.
I think it's a bit contradictory to want to have score separation and then have a course that appeals to all the divisions. You can't make a course that gives you good score separation for MPO and FPO because of the sheer difference in distances they throw. So trying to make one that works for all of MPO and then all of the amateur divisions is literally impossible. So I wouldn't even worry about it, to be honest, Andy. The course was great for the professional divisions and the best players won. Yes, there were a lot of pars, but at the end of the day, the people that got the most birdies won.
Yeah,
it's where we are at with the sport in Australia, that we're still having these combined divisional events.
Exactly,
we can't escape that. Yeah. But from what these guys were doing and really pushing to have a very professional course, trying to get as many open players there, these are the guys that are pushing it. So it's fantastic.
Look, I didn't hear the feedback from the amateur divisions, but it was fun, and that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Yes, it was hard. Yes, I think the par fours in particular, I think all of the par threes were pretty, really nicely designed. Multiple options. hard but fair. The par fours maybe a teeny bit shorter because they were like, very, very difficult to birdie, but quite easy to par.
But like from that first round to the second round, there were a lot more birdies.
Yeah.
And I think
we're
just breaking it down
once
more.
you learn the course a bit more. And a lot of those par fours, they weren't really defined. Like it was just like, here's point A, here's point B. You got to get there the best way that you can get there, which is good. It's going to take me more than one practice round to learn the best way to get there.
I think I will sort of, say, like, offer a little bit of a different opinion. I like that there were multiple options, but I think that is something that does make it harder. Like if you bring in less option, so like you are more forced to play a forehand off the tee, maybe your next shot you've got a little bit more option. Like there was one hole where it was a big par four. The main playoff was like a slight flex forehand down that avenue to. Do you remember?
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
So like if you have that in your bag to just slightly flex a right hand forehand out at least like 100, 110, like between trees, between this avenue, then like you're sitting pretty. But there were options. There was a backhand roller line. There was like a very tight line, like a backhand as well. And I just like there's not many people who have like that flex forehand and that distance in their arsenal. So if you are forcing people to more play that shot or like a backhand roller shot, maybe something like that, then you're creating more score separation for the people who can actually throw that shot. So yeah, maybe there's some like where you just reduce some of the shots, some of the options. That could make it a bit harder on well, you've got players who have to be more versatile to score well, but. Yeah.
All this talk, though, does make me very, very keen to just design something that's big. Like, I just haven't done it in such a long time. I mean, Invaliz, it's still a work in progress. I mean, not a work in progress. It's developing, and we're getting new tees out there and things like that. But it's just been a little while, since creating a nice big champ 18-hole kind of course. And even if it's just for an event, you know what I mean? It's just, I don't know, it's exciting. I'd like to kind of just really put something out there to challenge the MPOs.
Yeah. I'm sure it'll come. One thing that just sort of going back to a bit of the question as well, like planning a course for an event, I really like, Andy, that you've gone out and actually looked at the flow. I think that's pretty cool because I feel like, and Fergie, correct me if I'm barking up the wrong tree here, but I find it's a little bit easier to refine the design of a hole than sometimes to say, right, this is going to be like I want to put the basket here and the basket there, and that's going to be the design of it. And then think about where the next one is. So if you've got a bit of an idea of how you want it to flow, like if it's a figure eight, if it's a circle, if it's a little bit in the middle and around, I find that then you're like, okay, well, here's a good spot. And then refining the hole as you go, I find that's easier to picture and easy to do. Instead of like just going out and like, I don't know where the hell I'm going or what way I want it to go or anything like that.
Yep. I mean, if it's a permanent thing, then you're considering a lot more of the flow, I think, than you would be for a tournament, for like a one-off temp event, where it's like, well, I don't really give a shit because, we're going to put a porta toilet over there and what have you. But if you're dealing with an actual existing park space and everything, you definitely want to make sure that flow's good.
Yeah.
And then you're considering your paths and all that kind of stuff as well. But yeah, if you've got free reign, then kind of happy days. But yeah, flow's definitely important. And I don't know, like the whole kind of like, trying to find that's a good spot for a basket because it looks cool here, and then working backwards, or this is a good spot for a tee, and then kind of working forwards. I mean, I don't know. There's no real way that I necessarily work like that. I know it's hard to explain. I don't know.
I think that's definitely that's what the first time course designers make the mistake of all the time. They're like, oh, this would be a cool spot for the basket because they're like cool trees or a nice little opening or whatever, and they don't realize that when they go and find a tee pad for that, it's basically like a 70-meter wide open throw with all of the rough and interesting stuff around the basket. So you can just crash into the rough, land in the circle, and have a obstructed or a straddle out putt. Those holes suck. Yeah. And yeah, to be honest, there were a couple of them at Llewellyn Park for Melbourne Celebrates.
Yeah, okay.
And yeah, finds amateur course designers, they might get some absolute pearlers, but there's also a couple of those holes thrown in. And yeah, got to give a shout out to Andy and Jeff and the team at winter ambush because there was none of that. I felt like the par threes were like it is, as you said, Paddy. It's hard to make a hole that has score separation that has multiple options. But I feel like the par threes they had risk reward backhand versus forehand lines on a lot of them.
Yeah.
That elevated basket hole was fantastic.
Yeah.
You know, I think forehand was the obvious play. There was that backhand window that you know you could take on if you wanted.
Yeah, no,
I feel like all the par threes had that, which was really interesting.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Like I do, like you know, you play Inverleigh and you can easily tell, like Fergie and I, when we design a bit of it or the holes that I've had some input in, I like having like two options at least. I just find, just sometimes, like especially on some of those bigger par fours when it's just like, you know, when you look at it, right, I can go roller, sky, left, right, you know, if you pull it back down to like, right, I need to force the player, and it doesn't have to be every hole, but like on this par four, I really need to force the player to have to throw this type of shot. It's interesting that what then comes out. Like, and the best example I could give would maybe like hole 17 at Inverleigh, which is one of like their signature holes on the course, like super tight wooded. You can throw a forehand there. You can also throw a backhand if you want, but it's like kind of like there's only one way to the basket. I think it's cool to see what comes out, and people either like are killing that hole or they're getting absolutely eaten alive.
Taking a 5.
Yeah. Just not every hole, but just here and there. And that course, like, you're right with your shout out, but that course, like, it'll just get refined over the next couple of years. I hope they keep bringing back that event. That course will get refined and it'll be something really special there for sure.
Sounds like a great one, and one that Sydney needs as well. How far out of Sydney is it?
Oh, like an hour. Like,
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah.
Oh, still, it's close enough.
maybe not even that, but like it's like Geelong to Melbourne comparable.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, thanks, Andy. Appreciate it. And I reckon, Tim, you're right. I think we should come back in the future and have a big, maybe like the basics of courses on or something like that. Talk about that. That'd be bloody interesting. All right. And that wraps up another episode. Fergie, thank you. Tim, thank you.
Thanks, boys.
Thank you.
Yeah. It was, fun filled and, looking forward to the next one.
Until next time, hope you get out and play some disc golf with your mates. Is that what you were going to say? Did I steal it?
Well, I was going to say, make sure you follow us on Facebook and Instagram.
stuff
Send
it
in
up.
any questions or topics that you'd like us to discuss. And then, Tim,
Just chuck some stuff out there. It's fun, eh?
just throw some stuff at some stuff.
Yeah.
We love it.
Throwing stuff into other stuff. All day.
All right, guys, till next time, get out and play some disc golf with your mates.
So that's the end of the episode. Thanks for listening. I don't know why you're still here. We have to go see our families. Seriously, just go play disc golf.